Hey everybody, Garnet Lee here from PAX Day Monday, the fourth day, and it is not a holiday day, although a lot of people have walked up to me and said, hey, isn't today a holiday? But no, it's a holiday for gamers, and we're having a great time because we're about to show a bunch of the PAX Rising indie games. And one of the really fun parts of my job now that I'm doing indie game development or in business dev is seeing all these fantastic games. Hats off to the PAX organizers for coming up with this PAX Rising idea to really complement Indie Mega Booth. They brought in 12 new games, of which we're going to show you highlights from 6 of them. You may have watched us on Thursday night, where we did a big PAX Day Zero presentation and looked at these in more depth, but we're going to go through them here just to get everyone another chance to see them, and a little awesome commentary from my guy over here, the Rami on Twitter. You guys know him as Rami from Vlambeer. Obviously, hopefully you're all playing Nuclear Throne. He's going to do a little back and forth with the devs, talk some indie development. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
Pretty good. My voice is going. 4th day of PAX, so it's all pretty much gone by now. But yeah, I'm super excited to play some games and see the stuff.
Mine's gone full circle.
Yeah,
mine's gone full circle.
Pretty much all gone.
And the first game we're going to check out is called Welcome to the Rust Belt. So this was one of the first games we checked out on Thursday night. It is right now a very much sort of in-development prototype. Lots of stuff going on here. But I'll let you introduce yourself because my name mind has gone blank, so I apologize for that. But here is the lead artist.
I'm Patrick Morgan. I'm the game designer.
Game designer.
Gameplay programmers on the Rust Belt. So we've been working on it for 4 months. We're showing off a vertical slice at PAX. Trying to get really good feedback and find our audience.
So from Thursday to now, how's that gone? And we're like, go ahead and hop in and start playing because this is one of those games that as soon as you see it, you will immediately start to get the core idea of it, which is really cool.
The last 4 days have been incredible for us because we started out 4 months ago. We decided we want to get something amazing at PAX so that we can find our audience and also just like see if this is a game that people really want to play. And the amount of players we've had through that have asked, like, can I buy this game now? It's been just overwhelming.
That's a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it's been amazing.
That's super. So we're going to dive right in. One of the things you're going to see is this is a wasteland story. You are driving a tow truck, and the core mechanic that's really fun to play with is this lash out, grab onto something, and then swing it around your tow truck. But I'll let you explain, like, go into more depth about it. But it's just super fun. Immediately clicks.
Yeah, so we actually were prototyping a different game, and I had this idea for a grappling hook mechanic, and as soon as we tried it out, we decided, wow, this feels like you're driving a tow truck. And so within 2 weeks, we had a playable prototype, and we put it in front of people, and they just immediately started breaking everything that they could with it. So we knew we were onto something, and so we spent another few weeks prototyping it out further so we could bring it to a conference in Bellevue, Washington. And like, even though it was terrible, it was an utterly terrible prototype. People just
Dude,
they're
don't
like,
be so hard on
no,
yourself. I'm sure it was not utterly terrible.
The walls were all like tile based, and there were no enemies. People were getting lost, but they would come back later and be like, "Oh, you make the Rust Belt? Like, we had so much fun playing that." So
Nice.
it was a really good proof of concept for us that we were still on the right track.
It's always fun when you're working on something and like a tiny mechanic ends up just being like a full game.
Yeah, we really want to take this as far as we can because there's so many things that you can hook in the wasteland and so many ways you can destroy objects.
So basically, a large part of the game is going to be finding out stuff that you can hook onto and then just smashing it into things.
Right. We want the world to feel really alive in terms of like the effects that you have on it, like what you're dragging behind you, what you're destroying. Like, and everything can kind of interact with each other. So you'll see enemies like destroying each other on accident when they're trying to get to you. You can swing one enemy into another to destroy them. And also there's these big mega weapons like the Thresher that unlock completely different ways of playing the game.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So what's cool about these big weapons is they also figure into the metagame for this. So there's which we'll go to in a second, and I won't steal your thunder too much, but there's a town that you come back to, and the giant weapons not only are effective inside the level, when you return them to town, then they open up new expansion opportunities. With the buildings at this time, but you think of them sort of almost like a tech tree, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a skill tree, and you're making permanent choices as to what you're building. Like, are you building like a distillery or a water tower? And that kind of choice influences like the feel of your town. If you're going for more of like a Pleasantville, like a happy little town community, or more of like a Pottersville, like where it's like an evil casino town where like everyone's like a ruffian. And all of your abilities are more aggressive, and you've created quite a sort of this dystopian town.
You know, one of the things. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
So how long does, like, if you're playing this game, like, how long does is this a run game? Do you play, like, is it a 20-minute run and you die, or is it a longer thing that you play through?
We definitely want it to be a game where you can pick it up, play a level, and set it down and go on. Like,
Nice.
something that you don't have to just sit there for a couple hours and grind away. Like, you make small incremental progress as you play.
And then you come back to your town, and the next time you just go out, go into the wasteland, find a whatever the hell it is, and just drag it behind your truck.
Yeah.
So this thresher he's got now lets him build a farm, and the two farm choices are the cacticorn or the wacko. And they each have like a different application to how you are going to be able to play moving forward into future levels.
Right.
I almost felt like I'm stealing stuff. I'm sorry. It's like I saw the game on Thursday night. It's like, so I'm like, I got into it at all. So.
Yeah. No, I think.
So which one did you choose?
I chose the wacko farm because I wanted to repair faster.
Okay.
Right now, repairing makes you kind of vulnerable. So if an enemy is attacking you when you're at low health, you want to repair faster so that you can like escape before they kill you.
It's also great for demoing because it means you don't die as much. Always a good thing when you're demoing is don't die so much. Whereas we used to tell people, try sucking less.
Yeah, that's very hard with nuclear throne. That's terrible. But so isn't this? If I were making this game, I would just have a blast coming up with ideas to destroy things.
Oh yeah.
What are some of the like big? Like what are some of the fun things you've added here?
The most fun things right now are enemies. So the mutant raccoons are really fun to build, and the drill billies are my favorite enemies right now. We're about to run against them. So these are like bandits and rednecks in the wastes who are drilling for water. This is the Erie lake bed after it's been completely drained of water. So they're trying to break rocks for the last little droplets. And they have a water tower in the waste that you're actually about to steal from them.
That seems very reasonable and a polite, friendly thing to do. I can't understand why they're mad at you.
Hey, wait, we're just gonna borrow the water tower.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
gonna borrow.
We're just gonna borrow the water tower.
Oh, the future is very zero-sum. It's either yours or theirs.
I mean, it does have that sort of Mad Max vibe to it. You were saying before, it does have a little bit of that atmosphere to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mad Max meets Dukes of Hazzard. That's what we were going for.
That sounds pretty great. But yeah, no, I can see that if you have like 5 of those chasing you, it's like that one scene from the latest movie.
Oh yeah, which is awesome, right?
Just stuff chasing you and crashing into each other and making stuff explode whatever way you can.
Oh, so here you are with the repair situation. Oh, I see. You were smart. You left the drill billy attached to you so he couldn't get to you while you were repairing.
So these are really basic enemies, so they don't really fight against your chain mechanic yet. But as the game goes on, the enemies will get smarter, and they'll also pose a lot more of a challenge to you.
That chain mechanic, I think, this is one of the coolest things that you talked about on Thursday night when we were looking at this is, right now we're in an era where especially physics engines have been everybody's like thing to hop on, right? It was like, oh, we can make the physics completely realistic, we can do them just right. And I asked you about that when we were looking at this, and you said, actually, no, we've looked at that and it wasn't fun. We went just the opposite direction. And it's great because visually it really fools you into thinking that there's a physics thing going on in the background. But instead, you told me you tuned it all just for like fun and playability.
Yeah, we started out with completely realistic chain physics, and it just, like the hardest part is, I wonder if I can actually like break it. Like, there's times when you try to spin an object around, and instead you spin around, and it doesn't really spin.
Oh, because of momentum, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we've done so much work to make sure that like as soon as you want to spin an object, you can spin it. And we did that by adding a little bit of steering behavior to the object you have hooked, so that when you are inputting your turning, you're also like you're nudging the object itself a little bit to kind of like, get it going.
Well, it's really cool. And then, of course, with the tracer lines in the desert floor at the same time, you get that really pronounced effect. It just feels really great. You're like, yeah, I totally slung that just right. It's almost like when you were a kid playing with like a slingshot or something.
Yeah.
I never played with slingshots, but I mean, and definitely not like that. I sure hope you didn't.
No, well, it was a little different growing up in Texas, y'all.
But like this, there's so much room for carnage. I'm gonna assume that this is in progress right now.
Oh, it's very in progress.
Just like thinking about like the effects and the explosions and like the sort of stuff you can leave behind. Like this place is gonna look like just carnage happened.
Yeah, and that's one of the design decisions was you take the object back through the destruction you've wrecked, like on your way back to town. because we found we had these objects early in the game, and players were getting lost, and they were going all the way back to the beginning. And so we built that as kind of the core mechanic, just by watching players do it on their own.
Oh, that's right. There's another thing you told me is that bombs don't hurt you right now.
Yeah.
There's no damage to you, which is great. I mean, because it's more fun.
Right.
Is that going to stay that way?
Yeah, I tested it out one day, and I put it in a bunch of new players' hands, and so my favorite part about this game is that it's super fast-paced. You always move forward, and when bombs hurt people, they would crawl along. It was like watching like a grandparent drive through the desert.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going back that direction. We might add like damage zones in the wastelands, but it'll be like a challenge mode later on.
So everything is focused on going fast and just smashing things into each other.
Yeah.
That sounds like...
That makes the Rust Belt awesome, right?
That sounds great. Like, just anything that is... Because a lot of games nowadays focus on, like, you know, making basing moments where you have, like, to take a little moment to recover and, like, be a bit more careful. It sounds like your focus is just like, let's get carnage going. Like, let's get the mayhem, like, right
but
to
it
the
still
screen.
gives you that quick hit of feeling like you're in charge because you're going back to town and you have your decisions on how I'm going to go through the tech tree this time. And I'm sure the more you play it, like with any roguelike, of course, the more you play it, the more you get ideas of like, well, I prefer to go down this road. But then after you do that really well, then maybe you want to go the other route just to push yourself. So there's so many different ways to get into it. Man, like I said, for a 4-month prototype, unbelievable. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Rami, thanks for what's most interesting out of all this to you?
I love a lot of the atmosphere in the game. Like, it's so early, but you can already tell that they have a really cool world to just smash stuff in. And if you want to smash stuff, if you want it to feel good, you really need an atmosphere, a place to do it, and like a feeling of like carnage and a good reason to do it. Stealing a water tower from like unsuspecting bandits
good stuff.
Sounds like a pretty good reason to smash stuff for me.
It's good stuff. All right, well, we got plenty of reason to steal more time for you because this is just the beginning of our PAX Rising showcase recap sort of thing here at PAX 2015, powered by Twitch. Stick around. We'll be right back in a minute.